What's up, YouTube? Shinobi Trades here, and today is May 1st, 2025. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go through today's breakdown. I'm sorry, and as usual, we're gonna go through all three setups. We're gonna look at what the strategy did by itself, meaning the total points that the strategy got. I'm gonna look at what I did using the strategy and what I was able to actually pull out the market, and I'm gonna look at the max potential. Um, well, actually, today we'll make it a little shorter because what the algo did or what the strategy did and what I did actually lined up. I followed the strategy to a T today, especially after yesterday's performance. I said, you know what? Nope, I'm not going to deviate, not going to change anything. I'm going to do exactly as the strategy says. So let's go ahead and walk through it and see how it went. All right, so let me back this up, and we come into the market at 8 o'clock. Now, we had a lot of news today, so I basically kind of sat on my hands until all the news was finished. We had news, I believe it was let me pull it up here real quick. When did we have news? Because it was a lot of it. It's like all day, it was just news. We had news at 8:30. We had news at 9:45. We had news at 10. So basically, didn't really want to even do anything until 10 o'clock, a little bit after that. So right here we had a long bias, but definitely wasn't getting any long trades. All we had was short, so wasn't looking at anything. Finally, we start looking like we were trying to go short. Didn't get the actual short bias until here, so I needed something after that to get me in short, but nothing came, so no shorts. Plus, again, we had news at 10 o'clock, so wasn't looking to do anything until after that news. Long bias did come in. Once it did that, I got my entry and I let this thing go, and it was a nice, beautiful, clean trade. It did take a little while to go. It wasn't just a straight shot up, but it did slowly make its move up and slowly started pushing up higher and higher. Beautiful 100-point banger. Went higher up here. It actually broke overnight highs, and I think it came. Let's see if I pull this all the way back. It broke some highs that are way back here. Yeah, way over here. This is what, May 2nd. So definitely pulled up and broke those highs. So that was interesting to see that. I'm gonna bring this back over to the main screen. So we had that come through. Then I got the alert to say, hey, it might be time to end this ride. So I moved my stop right around here and was trying to hold on for possibly a pullback and continuation up. But what happened is eventually that just dropped down. So they got me out for a solid, call it 80 points, right? 79, 80 points, somewhere around there. So was happy with that. It did give back quite a bit, but at the same time, in other situations, I've done the exact same move and it continues on and it keeps me in a good solid trade. So I'm not mad at it at all. So after that, we still have a long bias, looking at my 30. So I'm just looking for the next opportunity I can get in to get long. This looks like it was going to give me a short bias, but it ultimately didn't. And then yeah, we were just sitting there waiting. Now I did get my long entry right over here. Right, I got in here and I had to just wait because this thing continued just to drop. There was momentum coming down, and I had to essentially just hold this trade. And don't I really like doing that? Like I usually say when I get in my trade, I don't know where my stop's gonna be. I need the market to tell me where and how to manage the trade. I don't try to predict anything. I just react, and that's it. It isn't to it isn't. So in this trade, I had to wait for something to say, okay, look, now you can start looking for where to put your stop. That something came in the form of this drop right here. So I had this happen. I hit my stop behind this low over here, and I just waited. And it was a long wait. It felt like price went up, then it looked like it was going to come back down again, and it was going sideways, and eventually we started pushing up higher. So I got another indication to say, hey, possibly a buy. But again, I'm already in this trade. But when I see this happen, I know it's going to pull back just because of how big that candle is. And I was so tempted to get in again if price came back down, which eventually it did. It came right back down into that zone, into that area. I was so tempted to get in, but I said, yo, because of yesterday's performance, I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to make any adjustments. I'm just going to go ahead and follow the strategy exactly how it's been designed. So I held on to that, and price eventually started making its move up, and then gave me an indication, hey, that might be the end of the ride, right? So what I did was I just moved my stop to almost to break even, just gave it a little bit of room. It's like 2 points or something like that. It was somewhere around there, and I just held it. And funny enough, price had came back, just barely missed getting me out, and then went to push up. So I'm thinking, now we might start trying to, get back up to these highs again, right? Getting excited. It's up about 50, 60 points. I was like, all right, we're about to go ahead and start making new highs and things like that. And it said, no, we're not doing it for today. And in fact, once that happened, it closed out. We're getting to the 3 o'clock time, and usually there's a move, but for me, I'm still looking for buys, so I would need this to start pushing up higher. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't had any lunch or anything like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and be done for the day. So I finished off and was just finished for the day. And what did end up happening is it looked like it tried to make some highs or push higher, but it just failed, and then it just tanked, and it tanked ridiculously. But again, wasn't gonna be there for there. I'm out of the market by what, 4 o'clock, so 4 o'clock, 4:05. So it'd have been done by here, but really didn't have the ability to get into that trade because I didn't even start getting a new bias until later on. So I mean, it is what it is. If we were able to stay in trades a little longer, it did give us an opportunity to get in something a little later on for another drop. Let's see how many points was this? Another 50 some odd points, but again, the prop firm I'm using not able to really go past 410, so 405, that's really where I want to be done at. But all in all, it's not too bad. Just looking at the total amount of points that we got here, we got looking at what, 79 right there, and then took a little small loss for what, 2 points, so right around 78 points that I did, and the strategy did. So that was pretty good. So after this, let's go ahead and take a look at the total points, right? The max potential. That's, if we're looking at the market, and the absolute best entry and best exit, right? The entries we got here were really good. They were the best they were going to be as far as the logic of the algorithm or the strategy, how you want to think about it. But the exits, where you got out at. If I put this at the very best place before it came back, we'll take a look. So same thought process, but this actually ended up going up a good, what is that, 137 points. Really clean, really beautiful, right? Very, very clean move all the way up to the upside. The second trade that we have for today, I think the highest it went was about, what, 73, 74 points. So again, another really clean, well, I won't say this was a clean trade. This was a choppy trade. It took a while to get us in a profit. It had to withstand a lot of drawdown. That went down, what, 76 points. Again, it's well within the strategy parameters and the things that I'm good with taking with, but it was a headache going back and forth and back and forth to ultimately not even really get that far into profit. But all in all, max profit looking at 137 and 63 was right around what, 204, I want to say 130. Make sure I'm doing my math right. I'm trying to do that in my head real quick. So 137 plus what, 63, 200. Oh, okay, off a little bit. 63, 137. But all in all, very, very nice trade. Yeah, I guess I was off. Yeah, 200. I had to double check. I was like, wait a second, I could have sworn. But yeah, all in all, very nice trades, very clean for this first one. The second one a little bit choppy, but good thing is, pulled out of the day with 77 points, so can't be mad at that. And yeah, I'm gonna hit this market again tomorrow. So once again, I'll go hitting 77, me hitting 77, and the max potential coming out at 204. So very clean. But that's gonna be it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I always fumble on that part. Forgive me. But yeah, catch you tomorrow. Peace.